Now, it's a common misconception that the financial services sector in the UK is all about the City of London and Canary Wharf. Most jobs in the sector are actually outside the capital. Well, underlying that is the new national hub for fintech, the Centre for Finance, Innovation and Technology, which has just opened in Leeds with backing from the Treasury. It's aimed at removing barriers to growth for financial technology and at positioning the UK as a global leader in financial innovation. Well, the chair of the Centre for Finance, Innovation and Technology is Charlotte Crosswell, who joins me now. Charlotte, good to see you again. Fintech's flourishing in the UK. Why is this centre necessary?
I mean, you're absolutely right, it is flourishing, but we don't want to rest on our laurels. We want to be sitting there looking at what the barriers are to scaling the fintech sector now, making it go global, and looking at those and saying, right, what else is needed to do this? Too often we sit there, perhaps in the UK, say, right, we've got a great sector here, it's providing jobs, it's providing great results for employees, for citizens, for small businesses, but we don't push ourselves forward. So now's the time to take that scaling agenda and really push it forward with what CFIT's going to achieve.
So what sort of things will go on at this centre?
We're going to be based on what we call a coalition model. What that actually means is focus groups of experts that will come together across the country, and we've named those as innovation hubs, one of which is in Leeds, where we launched last week. And that looks at the barriers to addressing the fintech sector growth and setting up coalitions to solve those. What we want to make sure is we've got the input coming in from all of those cities around the UK, not just here in London South East, but actually Belfast, Northern Ireland, Scotland, Wales, Bristol, Birmingham, Manchester, Leeds, Newcastle, and all the rest that actually have flourishing fintech sectors that are growing fast, employing some amazing people, which in turn is obviously providing high-income tech employment. So now we bring those together and we look at solving those issues that will take us to the next stage.
I gather there's going to be quite a lot of close collaboration with the universities.
That's right. Yeah, so universities for us provide data and evidence and perhaps research, but also we're really keen at looking at student placements into the sector. Not many people really know what fintech is. It's finance, it's tech. Is that really attracting the next wave of employees? So student placements will be collaborations between universities and the fintech sector that we will help to deliver with key partners and bring them in to hopefully fulfil that aim.
So what will success look like for this venture? Are there KPIs, key performance indicators?
Yeah, so we're backed by the UK government. So while we're run in the private sector, we have 5 million of Treasury funding and 500,000 from City of London funding as well. But it's important that we are running the private sector to give us that flexibility and drive to go forward. So very much a public-private partnership. So we have that will run 2 coalitions over the next 3 years where we deliver, as I said, these really good results for the sector and, as I said, and also the student placements that will get kicked off this year.
To what extent is the sector suffering from lack of access to foreign talent? Obviously, the UK's made it a lot harder for people to come and work here from overseas.
We are in a global race for talent and we're in a UK race for talent as well. Obviously, COVID has allowed those jobs to move out of the capital, which is great, and said we want to make sure we're actually fueling local fintech firms as well and allowing cities to grow. But it is a global race and everyone's after the same talent. And that's one of the reasons for moving on the student placement agenda, is how do we get the next wave of talent coming in that will hopefully fuel those companies, but also importantly, perhaps become entrepreneurs of themselves when they see the mission and purpose of what fintech can actually deliver for citizens and small businesses.
You mentioned the seed funding just now. Most of it's coming from the Treasury, bit from the City of London Corporation as well. Is there more where that came from, if necessary?
We've always said we want this to move to self-sustaining, so industry funded. So the coalitions, as I said, will be kicked off and we have the operations and the setup all funded by that seed funding. But what we're aiming to do is after that 3-year period is be industry funded, who will fund us to go and solve those really difficult issues.
I mean, £5 million doesn't sound a great deal when it's set in the context of the UK fintech sector.
This is about collaborations as well. It's about partnerships and who's going to sit there and work with us to produce that. We've already had amazing Office of Pro Bono support coming through. So we'll be looking at all those industry bodies who are identifying these issues and working with them, as I said, working with the universities, and then looking, as I said, in 3 years' time of industry funding where hopefully we can scale up even further.
And why was Leeds chosen as the first of these hubs?
I wanted to sit there and look at where fintech was really growing, but perhaps didn't have the spotlight on it. We see that in London. I think a lot of people have seen Manchester and Scotland and Wales as really pushing this agenda forward. But when we look across the north of England, it is incredible to see just how much is happening in fintech, how many companies there. We had an amazing roundtable as part of our launch event last week, all the fintechs there who were looking to solve issues, perhaps that are more focused on Leeds or surrounding areas across the Pennines. So what we wanted to show is that this isn't just all happening here anymore, this is across the country, But sometimes the issues they're trying to solve may be different to the ones here. And obviously the issues we want to try and solve, we want to make sure the outputs are fit for purpose for the rest of the UK.
OK, Charlotte, it's good to see you this morning. Come back and keep us updated on this. Thank you.
you.
Some other business news stories for you.